Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum viewers, welcome to another edition of Defense and Diplomacy. I'm your host Sultan M. Hali. Sun Tzu, the famous Chinese strategist, once said that during peace you must prepare for war, and during war you must prepare for peace. Even the Holy Quran guides us and says that keep your steeds of war ready for enemies whom you may know not, but Allah knowest best. The armed forces of Pakistan take these dictums very seriously, and during the time of peace, they are always preparing for any eventuality of war, God forbid. The Pakistan Navy has organized a very elaborate exercise called Aman-2011. The slogan for which is Together for Peace. It's an international exercise. But let me not take the thunder away from our very eminent set of panelists who are here in our studio with us today. We have Vice Admiral Shafi, who is Chairman, Port Qasim Authority. Okay. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
We have with us Vice Admiral Shahid Iqbal. Welcome, sir.
Thank you.
And we have with us Rear Admiral Parvez, Asghar, who is the Director General of the National Center for Maritime Policy and Research. Welcome. Let's start the discussion with you, sir. What is the concept of this exercise, Aman-2011?
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. As you know, the navies of the world operate in international waters, slightly different from the Army and the Air Force, who normally operate on their own land. Hence, it is imperative that the navies learn to operate together, especially those navies which would be with you when you are operating in hostilities. This was the concept, and the Navy started in 2007 when we decided to hold an international exercise involving various navies in the world. And this is the third exercise in line where all the navies get together, carry out harbor exercises, then operate at sea, which smoothens lots of possibilities of errors, which can be dangerous in times of hostilities. So that is mainly the concept.
Right. Admiral Shahid, what do you think is the benefit which will accrue to Pakistan Navy from holding such an elaborate exercise?
I think Pakistan Navy has accrued a lot ever since they have started arranging this exercise in the Pakistani waters. It has not only enhanced the stature of the Pakistan Navy, but it has also brought a lot of acknowledgement to the professional acumen of the service. You may be aware of the fact that such a mega event is not easy to be actually organized. There is a lot of intricacies, lot of details and the coordination which has to be made, especially when you are trying to invite countries to the tune of about 20 to 24 nations, and where you are going to have a multiple assets of those countries participating in this exercise. I think it has really brought a lot of experience to the service. It has brought acknowledgement, and it has enhanced the stature of the Pakistan Navy in the region.
If you would like to inform our viewers, how is it different from the various defense exhibitions that are held?
You see, most of the defense exhibitions, they are held where there is a lot of economic aspects are on stake, because there is a sales which are being conducted, and most of the leading manufacturers in the defense industries, they are very keen to come and showcase, and they are eager and rather willing to spend money in order to actually make that event a success. But contrary to that very actually concept, this is an exercise which is there, which does not have any, you see, that very aspect of
any commercial aspect.
Commercial aspect. So in that context, I think it is a bit difficult, and the resources which have to be spent, that has to be taken out of the already constrained budget of the Navy. But given the advantages, the static advantages which the Navy accrues out of such an exercise, I think it is worth actually taking this initiative.
Right. So, Admiral Parvez Asghar, what are the objectives of Aman-2011?
The primary objective, as already mentioned, is interoperability. That means countries, navies from different nations get together. They don't share the same language. They might not share the same publication. So you feel comfortable in being able to operate with them. And in harbor, we test communication, do the same thing what we are doing in harbor. Because a lot of the threats we experience these days are what are called non-traditional threats. And the Navy is already busy in such enterprises in helping the coalition task forces.
But talking about harbor, I believe the institution which you had, the National Center for Maritime Peace and Research, I believe you are also holding a seminar which is being dovetailed with this part of the exercise as one of the harbor activities. Could you shed some light on that, sir?
That's right. It's in the first days of the exercise, which is called the harbor phase of the exercise, and this is supposed to be an intellectual activity. So we have international scholars coming from various countries like USA, UK, Canada, China. We have local scholars. In fact, one of our speakers dropped out, so I have to step in the breach at short notice. But the theme of the seminar itself is maritime security management. So understandably, a lot of aspects have to deal with different aspects of piracy, and there's a topic about rethinking the problem of piracy, and there's also a talk about maritime information sharing, which is equally important here.
Right. So, Admiral Shafi, could you tell us about some of the activities which will be witnessed during this exercise?
Okay. You know, this is a perfect example of what your program is about, defense and diplomacy. What happens is the navies have a major role to play in a thing called defense diplomacy. When you visit other countries, show your national flag, and what happens here is 24 or 25 countries will come. They will see how Pakistan Navy operates. They will look at the modern threat, which today is piracy, as you already at sea I'm talking about. Piracy plus narcotics, human smuggling, and things of that sort. So all the exercises that would be held would look into various aspects. Like, for example, we will exercise and see, in case there's a threat of piracy, how do you react? In case there is some terrorism activity at sea, how should the navies react? In case there is requirement to ask for any other country's assistance for some sort of ecological problem, then you act together. So all the countries together will use their own programs, their own methods, and get to the best way of handling any emergency, be it hostile condition, be it a condition where it's benign operations like floods, and all the navies get together and they become a team to handle such situations.
Right. So, Admiral Shahid, could you please discuss some of the aspects of the foreign assets that are participating and what benefit accrues to them?
Actually, the Pakistan Navy had extended the invitation to more than 28 countries. And what we have been told so far, we are likely to get participation of about 14 countries in terms of their ships and their special operation forces, and other commando teams.
So correct me if I'm wrong, there are two categories. One is the foreign assets and the other is the foreign observers.
Foreign observers. Because the observers are going to be here, they are going to actually participate in some of the events which have been conducted under the auspices of the Center of Policy Research. And in addition to that, they are also going to be part of the discussions which are going to be held on the topics of common interest. So there are various